All right, here we go. It's actually really nice, as I've previously said, to be out of the individuation process. I'm not going to get into that. It's just really nice to kind of just like free flow and just like allow to like whatever is in the moment to come up. And I realized that before I started recording this video, I have been doing a lot of kind of like looking at myself and everything, but not just looking at myself, but also um, I've been spending a bit more time on social media, specifically Twitter, and I've been looking at like a lot of the things that people are saying ever since Elon Musk acquired it and everything. And it's just very interesting because I'm noticing a lot of the things that people are saying and stuff. And I realized that years ago I had this kind of like belief that everyone else has it figured out, that everyone else is perfect. I don't remember when I had this belief, because I think it's kind of like died out now. I think that I've kind of like started to see things, for what they are and everything. Um, and it's interesting because like more recently, like when I've been going on, like Twitter and like it's mainly Twitter. I'm seeing people like even like high profile people like attacking each other and stuff. And I guess it's never really occurred to me how emotionally like immature people are. It's so interesting. And the reason why I've been thinking about this a lot lately is because I've also been looking at my own sense of like maturity level and everything. Um, I'm in an era of healing and evolution, and I'm trying to do the best I can to make sure that I resolve my own personal matters to the best ability that I can, right? And it's so interesting to see how like everyone is just kind of like on top of each other. Um, there are themes of like toddlers and adults' bodies and everything. You know, just like lashing out and like attacking and everything. Like that's the sign that you're not healed. And it's just like it's so interesting. I think it's fascinating how I previously held this belief that like I thought I knew what was, and it turned out that I was wrong. So it's like it's totally interesting. And like for me personally, like I'm also looking at these things, and I'm looking at what people say and stuff, and I'm looking at if I resonate. I'm looking at if I resonate with it. I'm looking at if I'm kind of like repulsed from it, or just like kind of like repelled away from like how I feel when it comes to like consuming the content and everything. And I not gonna name any names, of course, but I was talking to someone the other day, and that person said something to me, and through like I don't know, I would say the recent like past year or year and a half, 2 years, like I've really been looking at like how I've approached things throughout my life, and my energy has definitely shifted. So like when it comes to like things that people say to me, things that are like immature and everything, like there are things that people used to say that would like you know trigger like a specific reaction in me, like whether it was like humor and like laughter, like whatever it was. And like I'm looking at things now, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want that anymore. Like, and I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm not here to say anyone is like wrong or right or good or bad. It's the way that people are, and they have their own stuff and everything. But I guess I never really realized how like prevalent these different things were in society, but more so because that I thought everyone had it figured out and everyone was like perfect and everything. It's it's so interesting, but like we all have our shit, and that's just the reality of it. That hasn't changed. It's not going to. But I'm very fascinated because like I've also been looking at like what I attract and everything, right? Or like who I attract, right? And I'm realizing like, oh wow, okay, so like my life has looked the way that it has because of the energy that I have presented, that I have generated, and I just think that that is wildly fascinating. Um, it's so interesting to like, like look at like these different things and stuff, and um, kind of like recognize like, oh wow, that looks like emotional immaturity. Like, um, it's very interesting how many, I guess you could say, adult toddlers there are out there, right? I'll make it very understood right now that I don't like to see people attacking each other, and I'm actually trying to move away from, um, like, like living a life of that and actually consuming that. From what I understand, this whole thing of, like drama and gossip and everything, it's born in, um, childhoods of, environments of chaos and everything, and you know, it's just it's very interesting how like what we decide to seek out, because of course based on what we were raised with, we seek familiarity. So like, if you were raised in an environment of chaos and drama and unpredictability, you're likely going to go after drama and gossip and everything, right? And your relationships are going to be formed around that. And I think that that's so fascinating. I think it's so fascinating. So like, I look at all these people out there and stuff, and whenever anything changes in life, right? Like, you, you your overall sense of like well-being or life itself is potentially threatened, right? Whenever something changes, right? Because it's not the way that it used to be. And you know I think that we're kind of like triggered in like survival and everything. I think that what we're going to see now, because I believe, well, not I believe, I from my own experiences and what I've said, what I've seen is that we are in a mass collective awakening, right? So, like we're really sitting with ourselves now, and I mean, social media has brought us closer than ever before, and it's a perfect opportunity to just allow people to expose themselves, right? And so like, that's never happened before, right? Like, and I think that that in and of itself is an opportunity for us to really kind of just like sit with our stuff, and like we need to understand now that it is ineffective to project our shit onto other people, thus attacking. Attacking suggests that there is something internally that is unhealed, that needs to be dealt with. And when it's not dealt with, it just continues to be projected in the form of attacking, because somebody's triggered by something said or something done, right? Um, this is a really great opportunity for all this stuff to like, it's going to get better, right? And I wouldn't argue that where it's at right now is bad. I would just argue that it is what it is. Like, I do the best I can to not look at things as good or bad, and just as like what is. Like, okay, instead of telling people to stop doing this, let's look at what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because like, you can tell anyone to stop doing something, right? That's only going to go so far. You really want to know why they're doing it? Look at, like the root causes and everything, childhood trauma, all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, it's so interesting, this whole idea of, like, oh, you should stop doing that. You need to stop doing that. It's like, all right, no, for starters. Now let's pivot. Hey, why do you do that? Why are you doing that? No shame, by the way. No shame, by like, no judgments, nothing. Just genuinely curious. If you want to know where the direction of change is, it's right fucking there. That's it. If you think anyone wants to be asked what's wrong with them, you're fucking wrong. Nobody wants to even consider that anything's wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with them. People have trauma, right? Um, Now, when I say that, I'm not referring to like the absolute like serious cases. I mean, I would argue that, you know much of things just kind of refer back to childhood trauma. There are some very severe cases that might be different, but anyway, we don't need to get into that. Basically, what I'm